Hey Sam,
Dustin, how are you?
good. Hey, what can you tell us about Sarah, new signing? Looks like she's played a little as a six, a little as a center back. How do you see her fitting into the team?
Yeah, I mean, look, she's versatile. So centre back, six, um, full back as well. She can play left back as well. I think right now with where the team's at, especially, I think definitely as a six. We don't have, especially with Hurst being injured and continue to be injured, we don't, and obviously Schmidt being on in the World Cup, we don't have a six. So that's created problems. Obviously, we're putting Nat Jacobs and Marissa in there as a two in the last game. But yeah, I mean, right now she'll come in as a six. I think her, she's an international player. She's 29 years old. She's the captain of her country. She's played at the highest level in Europe. So she will offer quality and she'll also offer experience, so I think is really valuable right now. I mean, you can never have enough too much quality, but we also need a little bit more experience in the middle of the park.
Do you expect her to be available tomorrow?
100%. Yeah.
And just last one from me, we've seen a number of the Dash players now in the World Cup. Michelle's had some great games. Sophie had that assist. Just your thoughts overall on their performances.
Yeah, no, everybody's really proud and obviously buzzing, right? I mean, it's amazing for them. I can't imagine how brilliant that experience is, especially for Michelle, who's not been there before. I can't imagine what it must feel like being at a World Cup at that level, playing against the competition, the teams, and just a life experience. So really proud of them, happy for them, and I think actually it's going to be a huge benefit to us when these guys come back. But hopefully they come back as late as possible for their sake, because it means they've been successful. And when they do get back, they'll give us a boost for sure. So I'm expecting to see different people, different human beings when they get back, but also depending on how well the teams do, a level of confidence that we can use as a team to go into the last 7 league games and playoffs for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dustin. Manny, go for it.
Hey Sam.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. Just bearing this heat a little bit.
Yes.
But a little bit more on Sarah. What was the conversations with you and the GM about getting her and what was the determining factor of getting Sarah to the team?
Well, we were looking at bringing her in pre-season, but we couldn't make that happen. So, number one, experience. Well, in fact, no, number one, quality, flexibility. Number two, experience, and number three, a need for a player in that position. It's unfortunate that she wasn't able to join us until the two remaining games of Challenge Cup, but then also the last 7 league games. It would have been nice to have a player of her experience and quality earlier in the season, but that wasn't to be had. So we're gonna take advantage of her as much as we can and try and get her up to speed as much as we can, because no doubt about it, there's a big learning curve coming from the European leagues to the NWSL. So far so good. She's settled in really well.
And with that experience, adding with the boost on the midfield, how are the team setting up for this game? I know last time we talked about training the last 2 games as a preseason match. How's the team looking forward for this game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, look, we knew that we were going to use the Challenge Cup as an opportunity to develop some younger players, but also to develop the team. Now, look, it must be said that when I talk about preseason, it was intended to take the pressure off a little bit and focus more on us. But the intention is to win games, and we're never ever going to put a team out that we don't think can be successful. We're never going to put a team out that we don't think partnerships will work out. So yeah, I mean, I need to reiterate that irrespective of it being a pre-season game, it's a game that we want to win. It's a game that we can win, and if we do the right things, it's a game that we should win. So that's the focus on us. Yeah.
And last one for me before I leave out the mic. Any updates on injuries? I know last game was Emily got pulled out of the game, and I know the other 2 midfielders are still out. Any updates on them?
Yeah, I mean, Emily will be out for a little bit. Hurst is going to be out for probably 3 or 4 weeks more. Anderson is coming back from injury. Gerace coming back from injury. They weren't able to play last week, but they had to be on the bench. But so yeah, we might see those guys this weekend, but more likelihood we'll see Anderson and Gerace against Chicago next week. I think this week's going to be too early for them.
All right, thanks, Sam.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Manny. Sam, go for it.
One more.
All right. Hi, Sam.
Sammy, how are you, mate?
I'm already Sam Africa Sports Network. Yeah, I was about to ask you about Michelle, but the other guy took the question. But before we delve into that, the World Cup is on and the league is on and the Challenge Cup is on. How have you been able to cope with the absence of your key players, and how has the team adapted with the absence?
Well, it's a massive challenge, right? I mean, look at the amount of players that other teams as well in the league are missing. Yeah, it's a big challenge. I mean, look at the result last week, North Carolina against Washington, right? It's a freak result, you'd think. And there's been quite a few results like that. And yeah, I think all the teams are lacking, real, some of the, if you're losing your best players, you're losing what would be considered to be your top quality. We still feel that we had a team and a squad that could do well in this period. The unfortunate thing is we've had injuries to 3 or 4 really key players, and significantly that's the midfield. I mean, we had really one fit midfield player last week, and that was Marissa Vigiano. Obviously, we used Nat Jacobs in a position at centre mid to cover that. So yeah, the big issue has been injuries and unavailability at the same time as losing players. So very difficult for the squad to cope with that. I mean, if all teams get injuries, if it's an injury in the back line and one in midfield and one in your front line, you can probably manage it. But we've had a lot of injuries in midfield, which have held us back a little bit. And actually, I'd say it's been a bit of the case all season, actually.
Yeah, your player, Michelle Alozie, doing great with Nigeria against Australia. She was phenomenal. The second goal leading for Nigeria, she kept the ball alive with that header. What do you have to say about her performance in the World Cup so far?
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I think you can tell that she's, loving life, right? I mean, this is an incredible life experience, let alone football experience. You can tell she's vibing off it, Sam, right? You can just tell. I mean, Misha's somebody that has always got a smile on her face and always, not bouncing off the walls, but she's always a positive character. So, yeah, really happy for her. And it shouldn't be a big surprise to anyone, Sammy, especially how she was playing the last 4 or 5 games before she left. So, yeah, really happy for her. And I said to her before she left, look, this could be a really, really defining moment for you in your career. You could, it only takes one thing. You do something special in one game that can transform your career. So, I told her to go looking for that, right? Go seeking those opportunities to showcase your talent. Be brave, be creative. Yeah, so she's vibing, and hopefully when she comes back, she's still vibing, and we can all vibe together, because it's good energy. It'll be a good push for us towards the end of the season.
All right, you mentioned earlier the absence of key players, injury, and all that. How do you foster a positive team culture and encourage a positive mindset among the players you have at your disposal right now?
Well, daily habits. A lot of that comes from the staff in terms of our positivity and how we look at things. We have a unique quality as human beings to be able to make a decision as to how we think about things. There are always going to be obstacles, and we've been through quite a few obstacles this year, and it's adding to the layers of our culture. It's building our resistance to things. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be impossible for us to go through the season dealing with some of the things that we've dealt with, and hopefully we'll see an upturn towards the back end of the season. So yeah, positivity from the staff, reinforcing positive and good behaviour, and at the same time, holding players accountable and holding the standards high.
All right, wish you all the best, sir.
Cheers, Sammy. Come